Hello friends, I would like to first and foremost thank Mr. Matt Jabs, the author of this article entitled One World Currency, New World Order. Great job, Matt, and God bless you. I'll put the link to the article in the description so you can all read it for yourself if you like. My friends, I hope that you will be as blessed by this article as I was. It clearly shows the dangers of the upcoming global financial crisis and what will be implemented after the crisis fully hits. It will not be much longer before the world will depend solely on a one world government. If you are paying attention, you can't help but notice that everything is rapidly moving towards globalization. The four main things are banking, currency, religion, and government. The Pope is even advocating this and has been proposing and supporting this for a long time. We now have people in the streets around the world, either knowingly or unknowingly, taking the streets asking the government to do more, which means more government control, and they are increasingly doing this in a disorderly fashion, giving the government reason to implement more laws for restraint and controls on them in the name of keeping the peace. But be ye not surprised, at least those of you who read and believe the prophetic scriptures in the Bible, which is the script of life, for there is nothing new under the sun. For those who know the story, accept the gift, keep the faith, know how the story ends. In the end, we win. Praise and glory to the Creator and the Almighty. I hope you liked the video. A one world global currency. Many people, including the President of Russia, have an interest in debasing the US dollar as a currency and eliminating it as a global standard currency. This is not a democratic idea, a republic idea, or even an American idea, but an international idea. It would be wise for you to educate yourself concerning the interest in and implementation of a one world currency. This is not the rambling of a conspiracy theorist, as many will have you to believe, but simply a cry for awareness to my fellow man, specifically my fellow Americans. I do not wish to delve into apologetics concerning the gross errors and corruption in monetary policy of my government. Rather, I wish to point out a few necessary and powerful critiques of a centralized one world currency. I am also looking to raise awareness in my readership because I care and want you to be informed. Treasury Secretary Timothy F. Geithner and Austin Goolsbee, member of the Council of Economic Advisors, have refused to rule out a global currency. Such views by top policymakers caused the dollar to drop. Even worse, this shows that the Obama administration supports dramatically greater centralization on a national and international scale. Here are a few other reasons a one world currency is abhorrent. Unlimited power is apt to corrupt the minds of those who possess it. Lack of competition, number one. No currency is void of the possibility of becoming debased. Competition between differing national currencies the globe over is healthy. It allows citizens and businesses to choose opposing currencies if they do not agree with the direction of their government's monetary policy. If there is a one world currency, there is no more room for debate, choice, or alternatives. It empowers government and removes power from people, which brings us to our next point. Centralized power. Consider again the unification of world banks all having common interests in one currency and one currency alone. Of a certainty, in this world, money is power. If the richest and most powerful people on earth share a common goal for their money, where will that ultimate power lead the nations of this world? Here's one reason why none of this scares the spiritual man within me. Number one, biblical prophecy. The Bible predicts the adoption of a one world currency and aligns its adoption with periods of incredible famine, disease, brutality, and enslavement. The concept of a one world government, and with it a one world economy, is prophesied in both Daniel and Revelations. There is nothing new under the sun. Quote, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Great men are almost always bad men. End quote. John Lord Acton. Global currency. So, what's the answer? Thomas Jefferson knew that the power of government, if left unabated, would always follow its natural course of corruption and power grasping. Quote, God forbid we should ever be 20 years without such a rebellion. The people cannot be all and always well informed. The part which is wrong will be discontented in proportion to the importance of the facts they misconceive. If they remain quiet under such misconceptions, it is lethargy, the forerunner of death to the public liberty. And what country can preserve its liberties if its rulers are not warned from time to time that this people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. The remedy is to set them right as to the facts, pardon and pacify them. What signify a few lives lost in a century or two? The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is its natural manure. Thomas Jefferson in reference to the first American Revolution. The ultimate answer lies with faith in the God of the Bible, faith in the truth of His Word, and faith in the death, burial, and resurrection of His Son, Jesus of Nazareth, indeed the Christ. The answer lies in loving God, submitting ourselves to Him, and thus enabling ourselves to love our fellow man as ourselves. Earthly actions and answers lie in the people empowering themselves with knowledge and courage, begging God for increased spiritual faith and courage. The complacency, apathy, moral decay, and increased social dependence on government of our day are frighteningly reminiscent of so many other societies throughout world history. Here are the typical stages of society as history teaches. Number 1, from bondage to spiritual faith. Number 2, from spiritual faith to great courage. Number 3, from great courage to liberty. 4, from liberty to abundance. 5, from abundance to selfishness. 6, from selfishness to complacency. 7, from complacency to apathy. 8, from apathy to moral decay. 9, from moral decay to dependence. 10, from dependence to bondage. Where do you see our nation? I see our nation as having just surpassed the crest of number 5 and heading downward into steps 6 and 10. I believe we are currently immersed in steps 6, 7, 8, and 9. I believe only a return to spiritual faith, morality, and charity can reverse the current course we are on.
How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me, in spite of all the signs I have performed among them?